Tonight, what do you want more of, roleplay or mechanics? Hi, my name is Paul Zajac.
And I'm Kivvy.
Welcome to DnDSPN. This is a channel where we smash together Dungeons & Dragons and sports commentary.
Kind of. In this clip, a cleric negotiates with a dragon, and then the DM gives them a choice. Roll or create.
In my spare time, let's say, I made calligraphy one of my specialties. And I will pull, all of my set of calligrapher's supplies with some nice parchment. I think a lot of different colors of ink. And I would like to start making, a nice drawing with flourishes and maybe a small poem.
Are you doing a drawing or are you doing a poem? Pick one or the other.
So sorry, a poem, it will be written and with nice, embroiderment all around the parchment.
Okay.
Make it beautiful.
Do a performance roll, or you are going to have about 10 to 15 minutes to be able to write something.
What do you think of the clip?
I love the DM gave him a choice. I love the do you want to set the scene and kind of create this for the feast of the mind kind of thing, or do you want to roll a die? I probably wouldn't be like, you've got 10 minutes to come back, because then you've got 3 other players who are sitting there for 10 minutes. I don't know if that was a literal, I'll give you 10 minutes. But I would like to be like, okay, tell me what it looks like. Describe the image to me. I'm giving them the chance to sell. Be like, oh, it's got these big, beautiful flourishes, bright blues, and deep purples and flashes of red, and then the words they basically jump off the page at you, and it's this soul evoking feeling. And I'm like, and for the players giving me this description, I'm not going to make them write me a story. I might just be like, as the DM, I am on team story every time. I love a mechanic, but mechanics fail sometimes, even if a player sets a perfect scene. Paul, I know we've talked about this in the past with me, but I love when a player gives me something in a story, so that way I can respond and maybe give them advantage, give them inspiration, lower the DC kind of behind the scenes. And really, even if they fail, now it's well, maybe you did fail this roll, but now the creature's so moved, it's not going to give you the thing, but maybe it gives you another path because your story was so beautiful, or the art was so stunning, or, things like that. Or maybe, so I love that opens up so many doors. I don't want to throw the mechanics out because people build their characters around these mechanics. And they should play to their strengths. And I also don't want to give the person with the most biggest good words, the chance to really run the story, because they may not have the skills to do the thing. So you got to find the balance.
Yeah, I like what you said there. I did like how he gave the player a choice, right? You could roll for it or take time to do this thing. Charlie did spend a lot of time on role play, and I think it literally took 10 or 15 minutes to get through that scene. And so I think that's some players' cup of tea exactly, and some players would be like, come on, let's just fight this thing or whatever. I like your point in that it doesn't have to be binary role or role play. We talked about this before, that you can use a role play to help set the DC, but then you can also use the role play, as you just pointed out now, to define your success or failure at a cost, which is another thing that isn't really explicitly lined out. I think they have a couple of lines about that in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, but it's something that is often talked about on channels and written about by other creators. But there's a whole spectrum of things you could do, right? You can say role play it, or roll, or have the role play affect the defensive class or the difficulty class, or have the role play effect if it's a success with a bonus, a failure with a bonus, or whatever. Yeah, good points.
And I have to add, Charlie is just an incredible role player. I've had a chance to kind of get to know him in games before. So I love that he's really drawing that out of his players. And I know that it looks like you had a really fun group. There was a really good group of players here. So I'm sure that a lot of those opportunities to do mechanics versus role play came up. And I love seeing that at the table, because it means that maybe later down the line, when you've got somebody who's not so good at the role play, they maybe see these things and kind of see the rewards that a DM will provide. And it really incentivizes them to just try.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. How do you teach somebody who's not into role play to try? And sometimes you don't want to force them to, right? But sometimes you just need a little, okay, I could do this. Right. I agree. Okay. I think that's it for this one. If you want to see the full adventure from which this clip was taken, you can check it out on our second channel, DnDSPN 2, The Deuce. And if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Have a good one.